My heart is in.
I'm a few days late, but I'm gonna do this wrap up anyway. I'm gonna do two videos, okay? I'm gonna do a separate video specifically for Keith Thurman and Errol Spence, okay? I'm not gonna talk too much about that in this video. Just gonna speak on the Collazo fight and name some other guys. All right, as far as the fight is concerned, I apologize for being a few days late. As far as the fight is concerned, um, Thurman came out being the aggressor, walking Collazo down. Collazo was on his back foot. I think Thurman was landing he was pretty consistent with that lead right up top and to the body. But it was slow pacing fight, but Thurman was outboxing him, first couple of rounds, he was being the aggressor, but not throwing too many punches. He wasn't throwing the jab enough for me, okay? And I know Teddy Atlas was speaking on something that he might have injured his left hand or something while he was sparring. Maybe that was a reason why he wasn't throwing too many jabs, or he just wasn't, he's pretty accurate. I can't get mad for the guy for being accurate, but I felt like, Keith Thurman should throw something out there, because it was just too many periods where there was nothing going on, and he was just standing around waiting for a good look, to land a big shot. And I like when Thurman usually comes out and he's aggressive and he's all over you. He wasn't really that way. He was being a little bit more defensive and just waiting for the right shot. And I want to say, like, in the end of the second round, second round, and then a few rounds after that, Louis Collazo started being an aggressor. I figured it wasn't working out. He was losing the rounds, and he wasn't really getting any shots in there. So he started being the aggressor, but he started to get hit a lot more often because Thurman was countering him. He was using a lot of movement in there, and Collazo started being aggressive. Like we seen him be this way in the past. Walking straight forward. Did it against Khan. He did it against Berto back in the day when he gave Berto all that trouble when Berto was undefeated. He started fighting the same way, just being the aggressor. But it really wasn't working for him. Okay. Then the fifth round comes. Thurman's winning the entire round. He's winning the entire round, in my opinion. Okay, he's still doing the same thing. And then he lands that body shot to the liver. I don't know if it was the liver shot first, but he lands a big body shot. And Keith Thurman's reaction was priceless. Okay, because his behind lifted up in the air. Like he got hit so hard. It looked like a cartoon the way he lifted off the ground. And it's crazy because, I seen people talk about it, but I actually seen Thurman get hit like 4 times in a row when he just kept moving and running. He really didn't know what to do. It's crazy because when you get hit with a shot like that, you would think your legs is the first thing to go. And the only defense that Thurman had was his legs. Like he just started running. Like he was scrambling around the ring and Louis was catching up. Boom! Knocked him with another one. Thurman was just lifting off the ground. You thought he was going to go down, but he didn't go down. I'm surprised he didn't go down, but he really didn't know what to do at that moment when he got hit to the body, I don't know what this means. I really don't know. I never seen nobody really go to something, but these were some hard shots, and Thurman really didn't have no answer for it. He didn't clinch. He just started running, He didn't cover up or nothing. He just started moving himself out of the corner. And every time Louis, and this is like within the last 30 seconds of the fifth round, every time Louis threw it, he landed again and again and again, and it kept working. So, Louis that was the most, first of all, that was the most dominated round in the whole fight. Regardless of what Thurman did or whatever, that was the most dominant round in the entire fight. In fact, Louis Collazo won the 6th round, right? He didn't go to the body, but Thurman seemed to be more protective as, down low. And Louis Collazo was headhunting, so he was landing jabs. He's landing everything up top. Thurman really didn't have nothing for him in the 6th round. In the 7th round, come down. I don't remember what round the headbutt came in there, but the ref called it. Okay, there was a headbutt. It was cut over Collazo's eye. I believe it was his right eye. I don't remember, but he had a bad cut over his eye, and it was from a headbutt. Right, so 6th round comes, he gets that round 2. 7th round comes, Thurman comes back. He's doing his thing. He won the 7th round. Looked pretty much like he did the first earlier rounds that he was winning. Then Louis goes to his corner, doesn't come out of his corner. Okay, now the camera's on him. The ref asks, or was it the doctor? They asked if, they asked about his eye. And he's like, listen, I can't see. I'm leaving it up to y'all. Y'all, what do y'all want to do? Doesn't really sound like a guy that wants to continue to fight. I think he quit. He didn't want to continue fighting. For a guy that was just winning some point at some point of the fight, he didn't want to continue, in my eyes. All right, based on his body language, based on what he said. Now, as far as the fight itself, the stoppage, I thought it's supposed to be a technical decision because of the headbutt. Okay, we all know the cut was from the headbutt. I'm a little confused on why they stopped it the way they did instead of going to the scorecards and everything. I'm a little confused by that. Now, I don't know. I'm not really too sure if it's because the doctors felt it was safe enough for him to continue, but Louis Collazo is the one that was complaining about his eye. Okay, I don't know why it wasn't a technical decision. Maybe that's the reason. I'm not really sure. But all I know that they did catch the headbutt before that round. And we know that the cut was a result of the headbutt. So I thought it should have ended in with the scorecards. I mean, Thurman won the fight regardless, all right? But they made it as if he retired in his corner more so than it going to the cards and being a technical decision, right? So a little confusion there, but whatever. So Keith Thurman won the fight. I mean, my grade on Keith Thurman's performance, I thought it was like a C plus performance. Nothing great, nothing bad, but not great. How do I feel about it at this point? I don't feel really any different. I won't say it different because I've been saying a lot of this stuff about Keith Thurman, who I think is the dangerous fighter to him. I've always said Spence, I've always said Brooke, and I've always said Maidana. I know you guys think I'm crazy for saying that, but I really believe that. I think Maidana would be a hard fight for Keith Thurman, and I still do, and nothing's changed. And as these fights been happening lately, the Guerrero, the Bundu fight, he hasn't really had a spectacular. I mean, he boxed Bundu, but I never thought Bundu was really good to begin with. Okay, the Bundu against Keith Thurman was a major step up for Keith Thurman. I mean, for Bundu. All right, Bundu's 40 years old, even though he was undefeated. It was just like this was a major step up for him, Keith Thurman, and he didn't win one round. He didn't engage with Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman really had an easy knife. He just had to be careful. He played it safe, but and then you had Guerrero, which was a pretty good performance, a guy that fought Floyd, was in the ring with Floyd, but Floyd outclassed him too. Floyd won every round, so he beat a guy that actually Guerrero won, maybe the last 2 or 3 rounds, I can't remember, but whatever. And then you have this fight. And what I'm saying is this. I feel my way about Keith Thurman. Like, he's one of my favorite guys and everything. But I'm not seeing, like, these 3 fights, I'm not really seeing any improvement. I'm not seeing that right now. And the Collazo thing with the body shots, him not really throwing a jab out there. I'm watching guys like Kell Brook, a guy that I already think is dangerous to him, the JoJo Dan fight, you know, the Porter fight, and what's the kid he fought after that? The last fight. I'm impressed with Kell Brook. I'm impressed. Like I'm really impressed by him. You know, the guy has a great jab. You know, he has a lot of power in that right hand. He's strong. He's well rounded. He moves well. You know, Keith Thurman won't have to worry about him getting on the inside and pressuring him. But Kell Brook got that jab, and Keith Thurman's jab is nowhere near as good as Kell Brook's jab. You know, and I just think Kell Brook is a little bit more technically sound. I honestly believe that. Um, you know, then you got Spence, who I'm going to speak on in another video. I'm just not seeing growth at this point. Not in these last recent fights, you know. It was cool when he beat Chavez and he beat Julio Diaz, but I'm not seeing growth at this point. And for Louis Collazo to give that guy that much trouble and almost dropped him, you know. I mean, I give Thurman a lot of credit for standing up, but I don't know, man. I think if Collazo fought Kell Brook would have gave him would have had a better fight. I just believe it, you know. I like Thurman and everything, but I'm not really seeing growth. And part of it is whoever's fault it is, if whether it's Al Heyman or not, he needs to fight better fighters. He needs to step it up because he needs to face some real adversity. It's time for him to face some real, not, you know, lose a couple rounds here and there. I'm talking about some real adversity. It's time for him to fight the top 10 fighters. You know, he needs to be in there with Khan, Porter, Bradley, Brook, you know, Mayweather, you know, Maidana. These are the guys he should be fighting at this point. Not Louis Collazo, all right? You know, he fought Guerrero, that's cool. But Bundu, you know, Julio Diaz, guys like that, we know he's going to beat those guys. All right, it's time for us to really sit here. They need to make a fight, and we need to, like, all right, damn, I don't know if Thurman's winning this fight. And I think, you know, Spence, I think Maidana, I think Brook, especially Brook, I think those are the guys you got to wonder, like, all right, can Keith Thurman beat these guys? All right? So that's it. You know, I just want to see more from Thurman. Like, I gave him a C+ on this fight. It wasn't crazy. Nothing crazy about it. You know, I don't know how much of his left hand, that his injured left hand, I don't know how much of that played into effect in this fight, but it was okay. You know, it was okay. You know, I wish Louis Collazo didn't quit, but the cut was pretty bad too at the same time. So, you know, I don't know. As far as one last thing, as far as the comparison between Amir Khan's performance against Louis Collazo's, I mean, yeah, I like Khan's better. You know, Khan dropped him a few times, but I remember at the time when the fight actually occurred, everybody was pissed off because Khan kept holding in that fight. He did hold a lot in that fight. Okay, Keith Thurman didn't do no holding, and Keith Thurman also kind of made him quit. You know, the guy did quit. You know, I mean, we could argue that, but the guy did kind of quit. Khan dropped him 3 times, but the guy didn't finish the fight. All right, Louis Collazo didn't finish the fight, and I believe that's the first time he did that in his career, I believe. All right, so you could really argue that, but I personally like Khan's performance, but he did a lot of holding. A lot of people hated that fight because there was a lot of holding in that fight. Khan's performance against Devin Alexander was a much better fight, in my opinion, than his performance against Louis Collazo. All right, so anyway, that's it. See you guys on the Errol Spence video.